9:22 is the time here on Live Impact News, and this morning we're getting a fresh read on where things stand in our local real estate housing market. David Hoffman of Hoffman Realty, and one of our go-to voices on the local market, back with us after a couple of months. David, how you doing?
Doing well, Jane. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you back here. So you're telling us that the market has turned a corner. What does that actually look like? What does that mean?
Yeah, during the pandemic, Jane, people forgot about location. If you had a house, it was worth whatever someone was willing to pay because no one had homes. After the pandemic, when rates were sky high, 8+%, buyers couldn't buy. And about a year and a half ago, when rates came down to the low to mid sixes, you started to see a little bit of a release where buyers are getting off of the fence. Right now, Charlotte actually, I'm going to tell you a couple interesting things. You're going to see both ends of the spectrum. Right now, Charlotte actually has a 15-year high on inventory, almost 11,000 homes on the market. And historically, Charlotte hits a peak in September, October. Last year was October, some years September, where you have the most homes on the market. So right now, we have about 4 months worth of supply. And by October, we'll have about 5 months of supply. And then it starts coming down. People get ready for the holidays. They take the house off the market. The other side of this, though, is there's no inventory for homes in popular neighborhoods where people want to move to, where the schools are highly ranked, and where homes are in great shape. So the other end of the spectrum is when homes come off the market in the fall, you're going to see a lot of the homes that needed work coming off the market where they're settling, they're renting it out. And by the way, a lot of the inventory right now, Jane, is homes that people didn't sell during the pandemic because they had nowhere to go. And when the pandemic ended and they had a home that needed work, a lot of the elderly saw their homes needing some renovations, but rates were too high to do the work, and they couldn't sell until they pulled it off of the market. And so a lot of the inventory right now is homes that need work. So when we go into the spring, we're going to have very low inventory for homes that do not need work. We're seeing bidding wars already in the homes that are in great shape, that are highly ranked schools and subdivisions. And going into the new year in January, February, we're going to see probably 1 to 2 week inventory on those homes. And we'll see home prices at all-time highs.
Okay, so people have been sitting on this then, not doing anything, for 5 years? And that makes the homes that need the work for, those who are willing to put in the sweat equity. What has changed then? Walk us through some of the specific signs that tip things in this new direction.
Yeah, a couple years ago when rates had hit that high of 8+%, the buyers just went on the sidelines. And so it didn't matter if the home was in spectacular condition or if it needed work, there was no buyers. They did not have an appetite for buying a home. About a year or so ago, that started going away because buyers needed for their own lifestyle. They needed more space, less space. They needed to make a change. Right now, what we're seeing is home prices have gotten so high for the homes that are flawless when there's no inventory in the popular neighborhoods that even the homes that need work, buyers are starting to be willing to do the work because there's so much sweat equity. The first-time home buyers are coming back because they're tolerating the lower interest rate from 2 years ago, but they also understand sticker shock has gone away. But the investors are coming back, Jane. So you just have so many buyers, and Charlotte's one of the fastest growing areas. So you just have so many buyers, and rates have come down a little bit, and prices for the homes that don't need work are so high that the homes that need work are becoming a better and better deal. And so when you couple that with the fact that we're almost at an all-time high of inventory to begin with, there's just no more inventory to hit the market. So in the coming months, you're going to start seeing more and more homes come off the market and nothing to replace it.
So the folks who are willing to put in a little bit of work, or maybe a lot of work, probably still benefit. Who's facing headwinds right now?
Those that are being challenged right now are those that need to sell in the next 30, 60 days, and their home needs work, or there's a lot of inventory. So we recommend you either hold tight and let the other homes come off the market, or if you had to go right away, just try to do the basics, fresh paint, flooring, LVP, carpeting, curb appeal, landscaping, so you can get that buyer off the fence sooner rather than later.
How about interest rates? You said they're coming down a little bit. We waited for that last check-in with Federal Reserve and nothing budged. Is this factoring into the buyer's market or decisions right now?
Over the last 4 or 5 years, like you said, after the pandemic, Jane, interest rates were the number one thing. When they went from 2.7 to almost 8.5, everyone stalled. About 2 years ago when they started coming down, it got people excited. And then they got discouraged last year when they didn't come down to the fives. I don't see rates moving anytime soon. Rates don't come down until inflation comes down, and inflation doesn't come down until the situation overseas dissipates and it calms. The good news, though, is that if rates come down too much, it means that our economy is in a bad place. The stock market in the last month has hit all-time highs, and the housing market's rebounding in most markets.
The housing market is rebounding in most markets. So not only Charlotte, even though a lot of people are saying that we're having this housing crisis, but it is in these hot neighborhoods. So what are some of the neighborhoods where there is an abundance of inventory if you're willing to put in a little sweat equity?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look in South Charlotte, if you look into Union County, if you look on the west side into Gaston County, and then you go up at the lake where a lot of families live in all those areas, as long as it's not too much work, Jane, people are willing to put in some money knowing that they're going into great public schools. They're going to save on not having to go to private school, and they can do it over time. The other side of it is the homes near Uptown in the areas that have really just come a long way. There's been so much development, mixed use, retail. People are willing to put in the money because the flippers are back. You buy a home for $250, you put $50 into it, you're into it for $3, you sell it for $5. Because there's a high ceiling for homes that don't need work when inventory is low.
Okay. What does our bigger picture look like then as we are in the middle of the summer, a very hot time for looking at homes and buying a home, but here in the next 6 months?
6 months from now, we're looking at the new year, and inventory is at an all-time low. Inventory is at an all-time low for neighborhoods where schools are highly ranked and where people are looking to move from other parts of the country. We talked earlier about how hot the housing market in other areas. The Bay Area, the Midwest, and New York, New Jersey are the 3 markets that moved to Charlotte, and those are the strongest seller markets right now. So we're going to see that in the spring and summer. Charlotte will be back.
All right. Charlotte will be back. David Hoffman, give the people your website for any more information if you are interested in buying or selling your home.
Thank you, Jane. DavidHoffmanRealty.com.
Oh, easy enough. There you go. There you have it. Okay. David Hoffman, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you.
Great to see you, Jane.